My name is Samuel Tso. Sometime in either 1928, I went down to a spring herding sheep all day long. My hair was in a real mess. All of a sudden, I heard a vehicle come in. I got up and looked around, and here, there's a van that came down below the spring. Stopped there, and 3 people came out of that van. Oh my gosh, their hair was so nice, combed. Their shoes were nice and shiny. Their clothes were nice and clean and ironed. And then I found out one of them is my sister. The other one is a cousin of mine, and also the other one is my cousin. They were the ones that came back from school. And when they finished drinking and went on up, I got up and I went over to the spring. I looked at myself in the spring. Oh, what a sight. I didn't have any belt. I didn't have any shoes. The only shirt I got was one of those flour sacks. That was what I was wearing that time. I distinctly remember that. Afterwards, I went back up and I found out that they just got back from school and they were going to school over in Santa Fe, New Mexico. When I saw their nicely combed hair, their nice shoes shine, their clothes all ironed, that's when I decided to go to school. I am going to go to school too and learn and wear those nice shiny shoes. And that fall, the schools start opening up. They put all my cousins and my sister into the wagon. They drove off to school. For me, they sent me out to herd sheep again. I was herding sheep nearby by the home, and I saw them going by in a wagon. So I just left the sheep and followed the wagon. I never caught up with the wagon. And I guess my father, my mother and sisters noticed that I followed the wagon. So my father saddled up the horse and he rode after me. I don't know how many miles I walked, but he caught up with me. So he says, "So you want to go to school, huh?" And I said, "Yes." And I believe what he said was that, "What are you going to do with the sheep and the goats?" because we were told, don't ever leave the sheep and go off, because there are coyotes and some wild dogs. They get into the herd and they just slaughtered all those. That was one bad thing I did, left the sheep. I was really curious about people talking about school building, and they call those school building mini windows, and I was really curious about it. I wonder what they mean about mini windows. We got close to the school, but we stopped at the Catholic church. The priest there gave us a room to stay for the night. And he fed us. I noticed when he came in, he had a hood over his head. All I see was his face. As I remember, I think he has sort of a reddish color beard and whiskers. In that robe, he had his hand inside that robe. When he took his hand out, I noticed his hands were all pale. Oh, so that's what you call Belagana.
Was that the first time that you had seen a Belagana?
That's the first time I ever saw one. And then, in my interpretation of Belagana means, Bela means hand, Ghana means white. So there he was. The next day, we went over to Mini Windows, and that was the government school. We went over there, and sure enough, all these buildings there, and a road that has windows, 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 all over. My father took me inside, and we met the lady that is a matron. And she asked me, is this the first time you're coming to school? And then I said, yes. She spoke Navajo and I spoke Navajo. I don't even know how to say yes or no at that time. So she led me into another room, and she said, this is where ye wash your body all over. That means you have to take all your clothes off. And there's water in there. You can wash yourself. There's soap in there too. So I took all my clothes off and walked in there. And I looked around. I didn't see any water. All I saw is some traces of water on the floor. In a little while, she came back, and I just came to check, see how you're doing. So I told her, where's the water? And she giggled and says, see this pipe here? One is hot, the other one is cold. This is where you turn on the water. Hot water and cold water. You turn it on until it's nice and warm. And then you get in all over. And here's the soap. Wash yourself all over. So I finally began to understand her. That's the first time I ever took a shower in a government school. And then she came back and said, here is some clothes that you're going to wear. She left it there on the bench and she left again. When I finished taking a shower, I dried myself and I walked over there. And the clothes she left for me, I didn't know how to wear it. That, the one they call Long John, it's all over. I found out I put it on backward and she came and she really had a lot of fun time laughing. I said, you got it all turned around there. This opening here is supposed to go in the back. And this is the front, or this front side, it goes right here. So I changed and put it on. And then I found out there's a pair of socks. I never wore any socks. I put the socks on and I put the pants on, t-shirt, and then she brought in a pair of shoes. That's the first time I ever owned a shoes. I just grabbed the shoes and just completely hugged my own shoes. All those years, I've been herding sheep out there without any shoes. But this time, I got a pair of shoes. And she asked me, where did you put your other shoes? So I told her, I don't have any other shoes. That's my grandma's moccasin. That's what I wore to school. So they took up all that and put it in the bag, and my father took it back. And then after I got all dressed up, and she asked me to go into another room. When we went into another room, I found out there's a whole rows and rows of bed. And I discovered that is called a dormitory. Young guys sleep right next to you and on the other side and ahead of you. Nice clean sheet and blanket, soft bed instead of sheepskin. That was my beginning of school year. The only bad thing about it is I can't go home. I get real lonesome. I cry some, but I keep thinking, this is what I wanted.